Can anyone confirm that you're able to hear me and see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
Venkatesh.
Charlie. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Welcome everyone again. I am Venkatesh. You can call me Venkat. Uh, to introduce myself, I have 10 plus years of professional experience in both automation and DevOps. Uh, and Especially the today's session, I'll be concentrating on what are the topics that we will be learning through this course, and what will be the getaway of this course, and what are the different things that you can learn on the way, and what are the different tools and technologies that we will be using to demonstrate this the entire course. Okay, so the classes will be starting from August 16th, every day, Monday to Friday, not on the weekends. And our sessions will be starting from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. IST, right? And it's a 6-week program, and it will be totally 30 days. So every day, 2 hours. It will come around like 60 hours. And even in this 2 hours duration, I mean, it will be very hard for everybody to go through 2 hour session, right? So how I planned it is, first hour we'll go through the topic, and then we'll take a quick 10 minutes break, and then we'll be going through the practice sessions the next 50 minutes. And also, if anybody has any issues to set up, or if they have any doubts or clarifications, everything will be handled in the second session, so that it will be both interactive and knowledgeable sessions. And the mode of the class, this is very important. I'll be using an app called Teachmint, which we already logged in. It's an app built by the Indian developers. It's free. You can use it in either you can use it through either App Store or Play Store for your iOS and Android mobiles. Even this supports the desktops as well. So you just need to log in and sync up your mobile app with the desktop app. Then you can use it in any of the browsers. Currently I'm using Chrome browser, if you guys see, right? So that's about the tools that we use and the program schedule, right? And when it comes to tools and technologies, these are all the list of tools that we'll be learning in this program. But if you guys wonder where this all tools fits in, so I just want to take you through one of the quick example of it. So if you guys see, this is the overall automation testing life cycle. So from where it starts to where it ends, right? So basically it starts from the planning, and then based on the identified test cases, we'll be preparing the code, like automating those test cases. And then once you have the test suite, we'll build them, we'll run the tests locally and see if everything is perfect. And then finally, we'll be adding that to the release pipeline. And from there onwards, the DevOps team will comes into picture, and they will be taking care of deploying the developer code into production. So that will be taken care by the operations team. But these 5 activities will be the core activities that any automation tester will be doing, right? So to accommodate those stages, what are the required tools that everybody needs? So I gathered those tools, and based on that I designed this program. For example, the first one is plan. Now every project in every company, they are following agile methodology, right, for their planning, incremental planning, right? So for that, first we have to understand what is agile methodology, and what are the different tools that are available in the market which will allow you to create the agile plans. Jira is one of that, right? One of the most powerful tool to accommodate the agile implementation. So we'll be learning both agile methodology and the Jira tool. So with these two, you'll be all good to plan your testing. And once you plan and have all your test cases, then the next part goes to coding. Now you have to uh, you know uh, uh, pick the test cases which can be automatable, and now you'll be writing code for that. So for that, what are the tools and technologies that you have to learn is Eclipse IDE. We'll get to know all of these, so I'm just giving brief about what you will be learning throughout the session. So the first one is Eclipse, which is an IDE where you will be writing all your test cases, and you'll be validating locally whether they're working or not. The next thing is core Java. So for writing any automated tests, you have to choose one programming language. So, and most widely used programming language, especially for automation testing, like web automation testing, is core Java. There are other programming languages as well, like C Sharp, Python, and JavaScript, others. The reason why I choose core Java is, it's very easy to learn. At the same time, you will have, when it comes to the job openings I'm talking about, you will have majority of the job openings on Java, because if you know Java, then you can pick up any languages. You can easily correlate the topics, and you can the languages. You can learn the languages, other languages. So that's why I picked up Java. You will get a lot of community support. Whatever the issue that you face, you just put it in Google, you will have somebody, you will have answer for somebody, right? But when you compare with other languages, you might not have that much support, right? So for that reason, I have incorporated core Java here. And then to automate your tests, you need some library to control the browser or any kind of application. So for that, we will be using the Selenium library. Apache Poi is mostly for test data management. So whatever the data that you want, you can read right from Excel or CSV. So that will be accommodated using the Apache Poi. Log4j is basically to log everything, so that you can understand what exactly happening in the runtime. If something goes wrong, these logs will be helpful for you to see what went wrong. So for that, we will be using log4j library. And MySql. So this is also a very important topic. It's not, in today's world, it's not just the web that you have to test. You have to test the completeness of the product. So for that, you might need to get data from DB, or whatever the activity that you have done on the web application, to see whether it's working or not. The endpoint validation will be on the DB. For an instance, assume that you have a sign up functionality in your program, and when the customers sign up, the web application said that, yes, you are successfully signed up. But what if that those information were not captured in the DB, right? So you have to validate the DB as well to see the completeness of the product. So for that, you need MySql. So with all these tools, now you will be able to write any kind of automation code for any kind of application, right? And then once you have it, you have to store it in somewhere to build your project, right? So for that, we will be using Git for the version controlling and source code management, and Maven for the build and dependency management. And once you have all of them, to arrange your tests in a meaningful way, so we have a Cucumber and TestNG. Cucumber is more of like a BDD, behavior driven development testing, and TestNG for accommodating and categorizing your tests, right? So with these two tools and technologies, you will be able to manage your test suites. And then once you have all of these, next thing goes, now how you can run those tests when the developer commits the code, right? So because your test need to run whenever the developer commits the code, and then validate whether that build is good or bad. So for that, we'll be integrating your tests with the release or CI/CD tools like Jenkins or GitHub. We'll learn these two tools at the end, right? So if you and as I said before, the remaining will be taken care by the operations team. You don't need to worry about it. But what you have to really learn and do in the program is all these 5 stages. So for that, whatever the tools and powers that you need, I have added accordingly. So now it may make more sense of why I have selected these tools for your automation course, right? And after that, once you enroll into this program, you will have a few benefits. Basically, you will get a lifetime access for all of my repositories, where you will have all the Selenium concepts explained with examples, and the core Java concepts, along with basically every interview will have specific rounds. Some of them will be logical and reasoning and aptitude round, right? So where basically the interviewer will give you a logical program to write, and you have to write them with the code. So I have gathered most famous and asked questions, and I grouped them into a repository. So you will get access to this repository so that you can go through those interview questions, and you can practice them. Same for Selenium. Even if you are taking this course to upgrade from manual to automation testing, then you have to be very much trained for interviews as well. So these two topics, or these two resources, will help you to success in any interview, any automation interview. Along with that, you will get a study materials whenever we go through a live class. If I have shared, if I have used any study materials, I'll be uploading that into the Teachmint classroom, so you'll be able to access them, right? And also you will have a lifetime access to all the recordings of that particular class, right? So if you wonder where they are and how they look like, I'll take this opportunity to introduce this Teachmint app as well. For instance, let me see one of the class that I have completed, right, for this. And if you see, it has a lot of sections here. The first one is the recordings. So here, whatever the class that I have taken, I'll be recording that session on that day. So if anybody, for any for any case, if they have missed that particular session, that will be recorded and available for them, right? So what they can do, they can all just come in and then open that session, and then they can go through all of the live class that I have taken, so that you can catch up. So you don't need to worry that saying, hey, I missed one class, now how can I caught up, right? So by using these recordings, you can fill that gap, and you can be up to the speed even though you've missed the specific class. And so you have announcements as well in this app. For example, if any reason, if I couldn't take the class for tomorrow, I'll be announcing through this, and you'll get the notification. And if I want to change the time, so I'll be notifying through this notification app, notification module. And you have assignments. So even I can create a weekly assignments. If you want to practice on a specific examples, I can create that and as an assignment, and I can give it to you. You can practice over the weekend, and you can come up with any solutions, or if you have any difficulties in completing it or anything. So you can basically, it will be very helpful to practice. The same way, I'll be conducting the weekly quizzes as well. The participation is not mandatory, but it's good to participate in these tests so that you can test your knowledge. So for example, if the first week, if we have gone through core Java, then I'll be adding multiple tests, right, on each topic. So that will give you confidence while answering, and as well as you get to know how the questions in the interview or how the questions in the world will be asked, right? And then finally, you have this study material section. So where you can go ahead and, I'll be uploading each study material that I use, or if I think that will benefit you, I'll attach it here. So all you can do is, you can just open it. Either it could be either a document, or it could be, an image file or anything. You can have access to that, and you can go through it. Even you can download that, right? So using this button. So these are all the different modules available in this app, which will help you throughout the course. Okay, and even there is a chat option here. So when you open in your mobile, you can ask any questions. Even if it's not the class timings, even outside the class timings, if you have any doubts or any clarifications, you can post your question through the chat. Okay, so just want you to introduce the tool and the different capabilities that the tool has. And so all of them will be shared, and you'll also get the course completion certificate at the end of the program, right, from OneAuto Club. And then if you need any career guidance post interview, or post the training session, if you want help in terms of learning more technology or more tools, or if you have a doubt in a concept to understand, or if you want to prepare for an interview, so I'll be happy to help you there. So those are all the benefits that you get through this program. And if you wonder where you can get all these, I'll explain in next moments. Okay. And this is the common question that anybody might get, right? So who can join this course? Who are the eligible candidates to join this course? So preferably, the manual or functional testers who have knowledge of testing, not like in depth, just basic, right? Or the freshers, if they're more passionate about testing, and then becoming an automation tester, they can join. Even the DevOps engineers, right? So as I mentioned, so the DevOps engineer will be doing this part, but at some point of time they might also need to know the development team part as well. So if they have such intention, even they can join. And as I mentioned, it's not limited to anyone. If you have a passion to learn automation, even for future or current assignments, you can very well join this course and learn it, right? And coming to the syllabus, I have a detailed day-wise and session-wise laid out plan. If you want, you can go through that. This page is accessible. This is public. So you can go ahead and access this website at any time. So it's oneauto.github.io. So if you guys want, I'll put it in the class chat section so that you can access it. So that's a whole, maybe I can just go through on week-wise what we will learn, and in depth you can go through. So the first week, we'll be totally concentrating on core Java, and we'll be learning all the OOPS concepts, and you'll be familiarizing with it. And we'll be doing practice sessions as well by building couple of very interactive programs called calculator, ATM, and EMI calculators. So we'll learn a concept, and we'll try to apply that concept in creating some application, so that you can remember for life. So that's the reason I split everything into 2 sessions rather than keeping everything in one session and then more conceptual or oral. So I split it into 2 sessions. One, you will be understanding the concept, and next session you'll be practicing with a real-time example. Okay. And the next week will be on Selenium and how you can use Maven for build and dependency management. The next week we'll be discussing about the page object model and Cucumber. This is more of like a framework models. So we'll be discussing more on what is framework, what is automation framework, what are the different frameworks available, and what is the best framework that you can apply to your project, which is page object using Cucumber, and how to handle that. And these are the other additional or dependency tools that we discussed in the diagram, right? TestNG for your test management, Apache POI for read and write through your test data, Log4j for logs. And the 5th week, we'll be discussing about how you can store your source code into Git, and how you can create the pipelines using Jenkins, And the next week, you'll be learning about, MySql and Agile methodologies. So that's how I split them into weeks. And I do have, I got so many questions from the audience, so I did create an FAQ underneath that, right? So that the basic questions were, they have doubts like whether this will be a live class or these are just recordings that I'm selling. But it's not the recordings. Everything will be live classes, and you'll be attending them. Every class will be recorded, and it will be available for 24/7. And the course fee, it will be 5,000 rupees for the entire 6-week course. And as I mentioned, Teachmint is a free app, so you can go ahead and download from either App Store or Play Store. And for when it comes to desktop, it is just like using a WhatsApp web. So you just launch the Teachmint, .com, and then scan your QR code with your mobile, so that your mobile login will be taken for the desktop. So it will ask only once for the whole time. And yeah, so this we already covered. And what if I miss any class, right? As I mentioned, you will have recordings available 24/7, so you can go ahead and you can go through those recordings for that day. And can students interact and ask doubts in live class? Yes, for sure. So this app is just like, either Zoom or Microsoft Teams that you regularly use. So it has all the features. You can just unmute and ask the questions, or you can just send me a chat. I'll be able to get the notification and I can go through your question there. And will I get a certification? Yes, you will get a course completion certificate, and it's about me. If you want, you can go and check out my profile, and you can just contact through, right? So that's about it. By end of the 6th week, you should be ready to do any live projects with automation testing. That's my aim, actually. And for that, you should have a real enthusiasm to practice and ask doubts. Okay. And the next thing is, where I keep, when it comes to core Java and Selenium, we should have somewhere to keep our code and share across the teams, right? So I did create the repositories in GitHub, where you will get access once you subscribe to the program. You will get, these are private repositories, and once you get subscribed, I'll be adding to these these repositories. And these repositories are having a well structured sessions, having, like, for all the different topics. You will have each concept, and as well as examples. For example, if you see here, what if you want to understand what is class and object, it's just not that I'll just give a 2-minute explanation. I will have also all the different examples and real-time examples. So whenever you have free time, you can go through them and understand programmatically. So I did divide them by topic. So you will get a lifetime access to these repositories. So you can refer them at any particular time, and you can learn them as well. Same thing goes to Selenium. Even for Selenium, we have a chapter wise, which I'm building. So you can go through each section, and you will have the documentation also embedded in the same repository. So you don't need to switch between so many tools and so many materials. So it's a one place where you go, you get access to the topics and as well as the documentation of it. So that is my main aim, actually. Okay. And I just want to give a brief view about how the real world and what are the different job openings that you will get, and each jobs, what are they basically looking into, right? So this is just to make sure that whatever you're learning will help you to get a job after the program, right? So for example, I just searched for Selenium automation tester. I did get lots of jobs. If I go any job, so these are all the basic things that they're looking for, actually. So if you see the key responsibilities of an automation tester, they are saying create automation scripts and execute in Selenium and Java, right? And then create or support new automation framework which is delivered to the clients, and schedule automation runs to track the working of different functionalities using Jenkins, right? And even if you see, they also have the same set of tools and technology that we are learning, actually. So I'm just keep highlighting so that you'll get to know, right? So like this, I have gone through most of the job requirements. They have a same set of expectation from the candidates. So that's where I composed this 6-week program, where it will benefit for if you're already deployed in a project, you can go ahead and help them in automating that project. Or if you're a manual tester, or if you don't have any knowledge of automation and if you want to upgrade, then this program will help you to upgrade and get a better job with the skill set. So uh, that's all about it. So yeah. So does anybody has any questions or any feedback on how the program will be? And uh, does anybody has any questions? Okay, fine. So this is just a demo of what we'll be going through. So we'll start the classes from Monday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. IST, and there you'll see a lot of participants. We'll go through the topics and make sure you participate in it, and then you practice it, because how much ever I say, it will be just for for the conceptual wise, but at the end of the day, you have to practice and you have to learn about it. So so welcome to OneAuto Club, and then we'll start our journey from Monday.